Welcome back to the tutorial for the hardest difficulty in God of War. Now this part coming up, you can actually skip a remnant fight. That thanks to Sephirim, because I watched some of his videos and I got that idea from him. So yeah, you can just, if you get on here immediately, you'll skip a remnant enemy or a revenant, whatever they're called. And there's a pretty hard sequence coming up where you have to protect these fires on the boat. And it's not nearly as hard as I thought it would be, because you get liberal checkpoints. So every time an anchor appears on the ship, it's a new checkpoint. So just keep that in mind. And also, if you reload that checkpoint, either by dying or just manually reloading it, the enemies disappear. So whatever was left over is pretty much just gone. I also got some odd checkpoints where I think I killed the enemy and I died at the same time. I think that happened twice. Because I got progression. I got checkpoints that I didn't expect to get. So it was odd. So the editing may be a little strange on this because of that. But, you know, I'm just showing progression, so I had to show the death because it was part of the progression. It was odd how the checkpoints were, were dealt with in this game. But some parts are strange like that, so I just left it in. But you'll get the general idea. You know, basically, as I said, you just need to get to when the anchors come up, and that'll be your next checkpoint. So don't stress out too much about the pacing of it and trying to do it all in one go or anything. You can just take your time with it. Just try to do better each time and get through the checkpoints, and you'll get through it eventually. It's really not much harder than a lot of the other shit you had to do to get to this point. I thought this was going to be the hardest part in the game after playing it on normal, because it was kind of stressful for me on normal. It wasn't horrible, but it was pretty fucking hard on normal. For the normal difficulty, I felt it was above the rest of the game's difficulty. But on this, I don't know, maybe I learned how to play the game better, and I just had a better idea what to do. But I wasn't very good at the combat on normal because I didn't have to learn it much. But on this, I've definitely gotten better. So I'm sure by the time you get here, you will have gotten a lot better at the game as well. So I would suggest using the light, heavy combo with the blades that I've been talking about. I don't know what it's called, but it's light attack, heavy attack. And the fourth hit of that attack will knock the enemies into the air and allow you to repeat the combo again or just whip the shit out of them, either way. But I like to keep repeating the combo when I can because it does massive damage and it keeps the enemies going in the air again and again. So you can just keep getting them up in the air before they can do anything. Of course, use the arrows in between strikes when you can. I like the stun arrows because I like having the guys stunned, especially on this part because they try to put out the fires, and if they put out the fire, then if they put out both fires, you lose. It's okay if they put out one fire, but then you're kind of at risk, so because they only have to put one more out for you to lose. So you can also use the fire. Sephirim pointed out that you can use the fire to sharpen your blades, so you'll see me whipping the fire. It doesn't actually sharpen your blades, but it keeps the blades on fire. You build up that immolation, that fire damage and burn damage. So whipping, just whipping at that pile with the fire on it is actually useful to keep that immolation going. So basically, I like to stand near the fires, and I like to just keep the guys back with those attacks that I was showing. Here, you just throw one axe at each one of these assholes, and you'll take those assholes out. You want to get rid of them because they will just keep shooting at the whole time, annoying you and causing problems. So you're not, no point having them alive. And of course, there's a variety of ways. It's kind of a dynamic scenario. There's a variety of ways that you could go about this part. But the general concept of using this combo again, using your stun arrows, keeping the enemies back with the knockback attack of the combo, because when it knocks them in the air, they can't do anything. So, and I like to sometimes attack the fire while I'm attacking the enemies because I'm also keeping that fire building. And it's keeping the fire from going out because, when you're whipping it, they can't put it out. Because it reignites it every time, so it helps. I also use that gap sometimes, that big gap next to the fire. I use that sometimes to whip at the guys when they can't get at me. I'll use the last hits of the combo to do damage. You'll see me do that a little bit, not much, but, any little thing you can exploit with the AI is always helpful. You'll see some major AI exploit soon that I got from Sephirim as well, where you can get the guys to go into the blades and die. Makes some of those segments much easier. And just exploit them. I probably would have done that anyway, though, because that's usually the kind of shit I do whenever there's moving obstacles or blades. But I went over the videos just to see what was coming up, and Sephirim has great videos. I recommend checking them out. They're more thorough than my videos because he actually does the segment several times, without taking damage a lot of times. I just go through them once, and then I just add commentary about what I did to beat it. And that's all I really do with with this tutorial. Maybe in the future I'll do more thorough ones if I get a lot of views, maybe I'll put more time into them. But I just enjoy beating really hard challenges, and then I like adding commentary to it now. It's cool. But yeah, you got a lot of enemies here, so I like using that combo I mentioned to group them all together and get them in the air. And as I've been saying, every time you see those anchors appear on the side of the ship, that's another checkpoint. So the editing may make it a little confusing because I'm editing the deaths out. And like I said, there's some weird ones where I killed the guys and they killed me and I got a checkpoint. So at least the game is fair in that regard and doesn't fuck you over. That's cool. I don't like when games fuck you over with the checkpoints. This game's pretty lenient about checkpoints. It's pretty fair with that. This game is nothing like God of War 2 on Titan, not even remotely close in difficulty, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It was challenging enough for me to enjoy it and get frustrated at the same time, but it was very satisfying, so I think it was a good difficulty. I didn't need it to be that fucking hard like Titan. I mean, I would have eventually played through it, I'm sure, but it would have just been a lot more frustrating. That was fucking hard for me. But, that's another game. Yeah, so now you got some Revenants appearing. I think you get the checkpoint when those Revenants appear, because I think I started on them when I died before. But something strange happens. I think I end up dying and killing this Revenant at the same time. And I'm guessing that's what happened. That's what it looked like. But the game over screen comes kind of fast, so I wasn't sure. But something like that did happen, and I got another checkpoint from that. So you'll see. See, my life's getting down now, and I think I'm going to fuck up somehow. Something fucks me up, I think. I probably did that move accidentally, and see, that got me killed, but the Revenant also died. So now, when my checkpoint came back, this is where I was. And see, there's more anchors coming up, so this is a new scene. A bit similar to what we fought before. Oh, no, actually, this is the one with the giant. So now this is... something strange happened here, too. I died on this guy. Oh, you see, his health just went down by like 3/4 or something. I don't even know how that happened. That was weird. I noticed that when I was playing. I didn't notice the damage that he took until I just watched this just now, but I remember his health being very low for some reason. I don't know if he burned himself in that fire or what happened. It was interesting. Yeah, but once you get this guy, always attack these guys first and ride them. That's pretty much the strategy whenever these guys appear in any part of the game. And use them to hurt the other guys. Now, I think I fuck up yet again. I did kill the giant, obviously, but I think I don't end up killing these guys, and I end up getting killed. And then I think these enemies disappeared, and it takes me to the next checkpoint, which is really weird. So these guys are pretty much optional, I'm guessing. I mean, I wouldn't commit suicide on purpose or anything, because I don't know if it always works like that. I would try to kill him. But I think if you kill the giant, I think you may get the next checkpoint. So if you do happen to fuck up, you may get lucky like I did and get the next checkpoint. Like I said, it's very lenient with that for some reason, which I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with that. This part was probably actually easier for me than it was on normal. So I must have got a lot better at the game, or I did more side missions and got stronger. But see, when I died there, this is where I ended up, at the end of the sequence. So, that was a nice surprise. I thought they were going to make me do all that shit over again, from at least from where the giants were at. Because that was my previous checkpoint. I'm not sure what... I know this was the main part of the video. I'm not sure what's left. There might be some small encounters or something. I show a little bit of the cutscene just to show that the area was completed, just to show the transition. But you get the idea. Most of you have already seen this game if you're playing on the hardest setting. And if not, you would watch a different walkthrough because this is combat focused anyway, so. I think it's good to have different walkthroughs out there, with or without commentary, just because it's good to see different tactics that people use. Though I'll admit I have watched videos before and I do steal some of the tactics I see from other videos too, so I'm not saying that everything I do is original, but a lot of times I do a lot of shit my own way that I'm comfortable with in my playstyle, you know. I won't just copy exactly what people do, but I will. If I see exploits, I'll try to use them to my advantage, but I'll mix it in with the way I normally play usually. You know, unless it's just so easy to exploit the enemies, then then there may not be much of my own style that shows through. But yeah, I don't think there's too much left of this video. I'm trying to remember, but I guess we'll see. I banged them out in succession today, and I didn't really pay attention to where they ended. Oh yeah, I wanted to show this. See, if you go in the opposite direction of where you're supposed to go, you'll get a very useful chest. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, it's easy to miss that. So I just wanted to keep that in there just to show it, you know, that it would be useful to get. See, that's where you're supposed to go, but if you use this little door here, I mean, I know most people are probably not going to miss this, but if you're not paying attention, you know, you can miss it. So. Or actually, no, yeah, no, this is the main, I think this is the main way you're supposed to go. And there's that regular door back there. That's the one with the chest. You know. It's kind of easy to miss. I mean, if you're not paying attention, you're just trying to run through the game. It gives you like a stone that you put in your weapons or your armor. I forgot what they're called, but it gives you a stone that raises all your stats by +7. So that's really useful because you can boost everything up by 7, which is, I think that's a pretty significant jump. So it's worth putting in one of your slots most likely to give yourself a boost. Yeah, an enchantment. It's a really good enchantment. It gives you a 7 bonus to all your stats. And that's it for this video. Stay tuned.